Obviously, we all know that the UK government is intending to ban peat in bags from the beginning of next year, 2024, and for professional growers by 2026. So that poses quite a few challenges, but I thought I'll start with giving you an overview of the UK growers and the market. So it's very difficult to get the information, as in most other countries, because you have to get it from a lot of different surveys, and it's not totally accurate. But the estimate is that the UK has got 169,000 hectares in total in terms of horticultural production. That's including food. The ornamental part of that is about 11,500 hectares. 420,000 jobs are supported directly by ornamental horticulture, and indirect, it's as much as almost 700,000 jobs. 30,000 jobs are in the nurseries themselves. The overall contribution to the UK GDP is 28.8 billion. This is from 2019, because that's the last time it was measured by Oxford Economics. That means that the industry contributes about 6.3 billion pounds worth of tax every year. And the last DEFRA survey in 2022 said that the total value of stock in the UK just in ornamental production is almost 1.6 billion pounds. The HTA is the Horticultural Traders Association in the UK. Just a quick one, what are they? It was founded in 1899 by growers or members, and for members, it's everybody that's got something to do with horticulture can become a member of the HTA. So it's garden centres, it's growers, it's retailers, it's supporting industry. At the moment, they've got about almost 1,500 members, and the biggest aim of the HTA is to make sure that they represent the growers or the members, not only in the country but towards government, make sure to give them information, set up workshops, education for, and anybody that's a member can make use of that. Their core purpose, as is the mission statement, we help our members to flourish, and on behalf of the members we promote, support and nurture our industry to ensure a robust and sustainable future. So a full overview of the members that we have. This is again 2022. So the biggest chunk of it is retailers, that's garden centres, little shops, 154 growers, 317 landscapers, 18 manufacturers and 86 service providers, which can be anything from IT to pots and things like that. So the DEFRA is intended, so this is not legislation yet, but they're fully intending to put it forward for law before the next elections, which will be probably the end of next year. So their intended proposals are a UK-wide ban on bagged media in 2024, a ban on professional use by end of 2026. There will be an exemption on young plant material, but only up to a maximum of 150 millilitres size. There is an exemption on mushroom production, don't know why. And there has not been an impact assessment on the industry yet, so they are doing that, or they say they are doing that, and it is to follow. So as soon as we have that, obviously, we will inform our members, and we are quite happy to share that with the AIPH as well. As soon as the announcement came in about the ban, the HTA did a survey among members and growers to see what the impact would be if this will go ahead. A lot of members responded, which is good, and it's not always nice reading. If you look at this, so the enterprise level impact of removing peat on growers alone, 54%, which is not a bad percentage, said it wouldn't have a massive impact on the way they do business. However, 37%, which is still a big number, more than a third of growers indicate that they are very likely to reduce the size of their business, staff numbers, output, as it will no longer be viable to produce as much as what they're doing now. A third said you are they're likely to withdraw from or default on contracts that they have because they can't fulfill them, which again is a big number. And 9%, but these are mostly smaller businesses, say they need to close down the business as it will no longer be viable to keep growing. In business impact of removing peat on growers, which again is the numbers are quite daunting. 77% will have to pay more for peat-free growing media because it is more expensive. 72% think they have to increase the use of fertilizers and nutrients to get the same quality and the same yields of what they get now, which again will make products more expensive. 66% of growers have to increase the use of water to achieve the same yield and the same quality. 49%, so almost half of growers, think they have to narrow the range of plants they produce, which obviously will have a massive impact over what is available in the UK and what can be used. So it will reduce the diversity of products that are being planted now. 42%, again almost half, think they're likely to write off stock that is currently in production because they won't be ready for sale after 2025, so they still will be in peak. And only 19% think it's going to not have any impact on growing at all. Impact on retailers, the same thing. 79%, so almost 80% of retailers think they will see a fall in plant sales. So again, 77% say or think and probably already know that the range will be significantly narrower than what we can get now. 68%, almost 70% anticipate to have to cut staff because of that. And again, 53% think they're likely to cut back on charity donations and things like that, which again is quite a big impact. 38% think they're likely to expand the proportion of outdoor sales retail area to make up for the loss of plants, so more paving, more decking and other stuff. 29%, which is low and probably unlikely, think they have to ration plants to customers to make sure that as many people can get plants, and only 12% think it's not going to have an impact at all. Some comment. I'm not going to read out these comments. Again, I can make the slide available, or we can make the slide available to a member. So these are just some of the comments that came back from the survey from growers and suppliers and retailers on the impact. Some of the ones stand out is they will not be able to import products from the EU anymore because the EU is not looking for a ban in 2026. And it's even sort of in doubt if they want to introduce a ban at all. Shorter timescale from moving the ban from 2030 to 2026 is too short. It's going to be very difficult to adapt growing to the new methods, which is going to put a strain on not just the growers but also the rest of the wider industry. Use more water, use more fertilizer, it's going to become more expensive. We have to stop growing certain things. So again, it's the impact is much bigger than what DEFRA seems to think. So what has the HTA done, or what's the HTA's position on the intended peat ban? The HTA's position is we as a business or as an industry, the transition to peat-free is important and we have to work towards it, and we don't dispute that. We do think that 2026 is too early. The undertaking to change the system that has been developed over decades to produce 1.6 billion pounds of plants in that short time is going to be difficult. For many growers, the one I work for included, research, trials, supply is a big factor the cost is a big factor. The fact that the grower I work for, but me as well, I've been doing trials of peat-free for the last 4 years now. We're developing our own bespoke mix because of the wide range that we grow. The last iteration of the mix, which we're using now on a big scale, is 23% more expensive than peat-based media. So that's an example of the impact it's going to have in terms of cost. We have to put more feed, more CRFs in it. We have to water more often. It's all going to contribute to a higher cost of the plant. So again, growers need time to make sure that we can produce the same quality that we do now. And 2026 is too quick. The ACA again fully committed to support the members in phasing out the professional use of peat, but not until 2030. Bagged compost 2024. Then some numbers at the side in terms of volumes that are being used in the industry. So as a result of the survey and the position of the HTA, we went back to the UK government with a few questions to deliver on a 2030 ban instead of a 2026. Confirm the 2030 date, but with exemptions on the likes of import, young material, some species and varieties we will not be able to grow in peat-free, not even by 2030, because more research is needed. So exemptions should be on that, and make sure that the transition away from peat still keeps Britain's horticulture on a level playing field with the rest of Europe, but also the rest of the world. These are just some pictures. This is Palmside Nurseries. So, like I said, we started looking at peat-free 4 years ago. Talking to our growing media partner, who is from Germany, developing a peat-free mix. The mix is now commercially available, but no other growers use it apart from ourselves. And it's taken up to last year for us to actually start doing big-scale trials because we were happy with the mix that we had. I'm now doing trials for bigger pot sizes, because bigger pot sizes are slightly different to 2 and 3 litre pots. And we only just started doing them 6 months ago. I will not know the impact of the mix that I'm using probably till another 6 months, if not a year from now, to see if it's the same quality as what we have, which will bring us to the middle of 2024. If it doesn't give me the results that I think it's going to give me, I have to start again, which then by that time is 2026, and it will be too late, and we will have to take out a large chunk of our business. Importing, again, if the ban comes in, we import a fairly big amount of plants, also from Italy. And we will not be able to do that. If they insist on a ban, we will not be able to do that. We will not be able to import certain young plants that we do now. We get in a bigger plug than 150 mil. And again, it will just reduce the range of plants that we can offer our customers. On the Brijs side of things, the trials that I am doing, I'm now potting. Everything that goes into a 2 and 3 litre is going in peat-free, and it's doing really, really well. As you can see, the bigger size of these are 10 and 25 litres, peat-free, 100% peat-free mix, again doing very, very well, so we're happy with that. But as I said before as well, the cost is between 20 and 30% more for a plant than what it is in peat. And that was it. So if you want to read more, website, the HCA website's got a large chunk on peat and peat-free. Thank you for your attention, and any questions?